While the people you meet in college might promise to be your friend for life, a lifelong friendship is a rare thing. However, Cedar Crest alumni and Whitehorse residents Mary Lou Dennis, Bobby McKinnon, Claire Service, and Joyce Beach have been friends for 67 years. The four met in their college dorm and instantly clicked.
We just seem to be drawn together and still feel very comfortable together.
Since their freshman year in 1951, a lot has happened. Husbands, families, jobs.
I had so many jobs. I mean, I wasn't fired, but I had so many jobs.
Still, the four have managed to stay friends through cards, phone calls, and college reunions. And now, they all live together at the same retirement community, Whitehorse Village. According to Bobby, they're almost like sisters.
Sometimes they're a pain in the butt, and sometimes they're wonderful, wonderful friends.
When given the opportunity to reminisce, the stories kept flowing. The girls could each remember details from over 60 years ago.
So one day somebody came to my door and said, "You have a phone call," and I went, and there was this fabulous voice on the other end of the phone who introduced himself and said his name was Al Heim. And he had the most marvelous voice, and I got all shivery inside. I didn't know him, didn't know anything about him. I don't even know how he knew who I was. But he said he would I go on a date with him? And I said, "Oh, of course I'll go with you." I was so excited. And I said, "Bring a friend," and because I have a friend. So my friend was Mary Lou, even back then. And I was so excited to see this guy or to go out with him that I was almost sick to my stomach. I almost couldn't even go. I was so excited. So we went on the date, and I fell in love immediately, and Mary Lou didn't. And then he dumped me. So I ended up marrying one of his fraternity brothers instead.
We stayed in the Wedgwood in Fort Lauderdale, though I do remember.
Yes. You do? Yes.
During Hurricane Hazel, 4 or 5 of us went up to Joyce's house. Joyce's parents were going to be away, and we stayed at the house, and unfortunately lost electricity while we were there, so we had to make do. We did some cooking in the fireplace, and I remember all the leaves being blown against the back of the house. The house had been recently painted, and they all stuck.
We all invited our very own dads to come to a formal dance, dinner and dance, and the dads brought flowers, corsages, and so forth, and we had a wonderful time.
I can remember how proud my father was sitting at the head table and then dancing with me, and that was a great memory of the whole time.
And even after the dance was over, the men stayed in a local motel, which was near the school, and they continued to have a very nice time, and it was such a good time that they were asked not to come back ever again.
Maybe I'll bring in song contest because nobody else brought it in. But each year we had to make up a song contest piece, which we would sing maybe a dozen songs, but they were familiar tunes. But we had to make up our own words around a theme. So one year we were Candy Canes, one year we were Under the Sea. But you had to have a theme, you had to have your costumes. Joyce was even the piano player, and I was the chairman. And we lost 4 years, so that'll tell you how good the two of us were.
In addition to all of the good memories, these women also remember the stress of college.
I threw up before every exam or test I took the whole time I was in college. And I was absolutely positive that I was going to flunk. And I don't really know why I couldn't get over that fact, because I never flunked an exam in my whole life.
I studied like crazy for the first Blue Book, and actually what happened was I got a C on it. And I thought I had aced it. And I got a C. Oh my golly, I couldn't believe it. And we put on bathing caps like about 3 in the morning, and we had put our heads under cold water so that we would stay awake to study.
Anyone who meets these four lovely ladies is amazed by how they've managed to move in next door to each other after all these years. Their villas are either right next door or just across the street.
It's amazing to me that after all this time, 3 of us actually live, almost next door to each other as we did in college.
Well, I guess we're reconnecting, sort of, but we've always been connected.
In fact, Joyce and Bobby aren't just connected by friendship, they're connected by family. Joyce and Bobby share grandkids from Joyce's daughter Tracy and Bobby's son Jeff.
So because we were good friends, we'd do stuff together. And the kids started seeing each other just as friends. But they never really did anything except Jeff called Tracy when I think she was 14, and I think he was 15. And he asked her to go to dinner with him, and she went. And when she got home, she said, "Someday I'm going to marry him, but it's too soon." And she married him.
The girls are confident they made a good choice by coming to Whitehorse Village.
We just drove in and it was so beautiful, and we said, this is it.
I said to my husband, Neil, if we ever need to come to a place like this to be cared for, this is where I want to come.
When I finally came, I was the last one, and they said, "Oh, you're the 4th one of the Cedar Crest girls that are here." So
Everybody knows us.
we're all known
Yes.
as the 4 college girls that were college
Yes.
friends, and
we
now
better be
friends
careful.
here.
They'll ask us to perform.
Yes, yes.
What are we going to do?